Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Ian and Mike again with another fantastic Google podcast. Hey, Mike, how you doing today?
Good. How's it going, Ian?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Today, let's look at Google Forms.
Google Forms. Tell me, what is Google Forms?
Google Forms is a tool that you can use to collect data or to quiz your students. During this pandemic time, I've heard a lot of teachers have to assign videos to their students, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
students are so smart, right? They'll take the video and they'll play it and they'll play a little game in the background, and when the teacher looks at the video watch data, they'll see that the student watched the video, but the student did not learn anything.
True. I've heard that about EBS.
Yeah, it's really tough to hold students accountable for what they're supposed to learn. But I think that Google Forms is one tool that can help teachers assign quiz questions to make sure that students are actually paying attention to the videos and getting a little bit of learning from their online experience.
Sounds good. Take us in. Let's do it.
All right, so we're on a blank tab right here. You see my blank tab?
I do. I see your blank tab.
And sometimes in your Google account, if you click on these black boxes right here, you might be able to see here Google Forms. You can click here to open up Google Forms. If you don't see Google Forms there, that's not a problem. You can also go to the URL and type forms.google.com.
Typical Google. I see a lot of templates that we could use.
Yeah, you don't even have to make it a whole thing yourself. I mean, we're going to make it ourselves today, but you don't have to. You could also choose some templates to make it just a little bit easier on yourself.
I like it.
So let's start with a blank form. The first thing is important to do is to give your form a name. Awesome quiz. If you name the title and you click up here, it automatically gives your document the same title. I love that. If I'm going to assign students to study online, first I need to start with a resource.
Right.
Typically, that comes in the form of a video, and fortunately, Google Forms is a good way to add a video. It's right down here. It says add video. As you know, Google is very integrated with YouTube.
Yes.
Let's say I want to do a video on collocations. Oh, I find this video I like. What are collocations? That's only 3 minutes. Yeah, students might find that helpful. So click on it, select, boom. Now we have a video embedded into our form.
Wow,
I like to make the video a little bit larger.
Okay.
And up here where it says untitled video, I can add some instructions. Please watch this video.
Okay, so question for you. When you see the video there, can students make it full size or make it full screen?
Kind of. If you go up here and you click on the little eye, it says preview.
Okay.
This will allow you to view the quiz as your students will view the quiz, so you can make sure that it looks okay to you. So now I see this video that's embedded and I click on play. I cannot make it full screen from Google Forms. However, if I click on YouTube right here, I could also just watch the video on YouTube itself.
Ah, very cool. Okay.
And I can make it full screen from there quite easily.
Good.
So that's an excellent question. I appreciate that. Let's go back to our editor. We have a video here, and that's fantastic. But there's other ways you can also add videos.
Okay.
So let's delete this. Let's add a video by URL. So now I'm in YouTube Studio for my own YouTube channel, and let's say that I want to make a quiz about storytelling tips.
Hey, Ian, let me stop you there. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel's name is Banchan Warrior, in case you're curious.
Banchan Warrior. Okay.
So I'm on my list of videos here, and if I click on these 3 bars and I click on Get Shareable Link, automatically copies, and now I can paste my YouTube URL and it will automatically put it into the video.
Oh, great.
Once again, I can make the size bigger or smaller, and I'll give instructions. Please watch, or else.
You know, if I could add something to this, I think it's great that you're using YouTube because as English teachers, we have to, give a lot of videos to students that are in English. And one of the great things about YouTube is it has subtitles. So you can show an English video with English subtitles depending on how high level your class is, or you could show, a YouTube video in English with Korean subtitles. So this is great for those students who aren't quite at the higher level yet and need a little bit, kind of a push. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's very easy. YouTube automatically generates subtitles, and then you can also auto-translate to different languages, such as Korean, for example.
Yay.
It's not 100% accurate,
Right.
but as long as you find somebody who speaks clearly, it's usually about a 90% accurate. I enjoy it a lot. Now, I hear that a lot of teachers are using the EBS platform in Korea right
Yeah,
now.
that's correct. Some of my former trainees and some online trainees I have now are using that in their classroom.
EBS is not necessarily compatible with the Google platform. You can't necessarily embed videos.
Yeah, I think
But with
because they're so long, right?
Yeah, so what you can also do is if I click on add title and description here, and I can also, if I find a video here that I like, so this is Grammar Power Lesson 1, Introduction to English Grammar. I find my URL and I copy and I paste that here. I'll preview that. Now I can say, please watch this video, and it's not ideal, but students can click on this link in order to review the video content.
Oh, it does the trick. I think it does the trick.
Yeah, so if you're a school that you're forced to use EBS, it's not a problem. You can still try to add some quiz questions to get your students more engaged and accountable.
Exactly. I think what you just said, engagement's important. And also, with EBS, it's an outside source providing the material and teaching the class. And, that outside source doesn't know the teacher's classroom as well as the teacher does. So the teacher can use this to, modify or add to her lessons. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, how can you differentiate the content to better suit your unique students?
Right.
Let's do one more little tip here, which is to add an image. So sometimes you might want to give students an image that they want to study as part of their quiz. So you can do this many ways. You can search on Google Images. You can add an image from your Google Drive or your Google Photos if you're so inclined. I'm going to upload an image that I downloaded.
Yeah, I think images are so important because it just adds much more to your quiz, because if students see a white screen with all English, they're going to immediately kind of freak out. But, I think this is a great way to differentiate learning, the instruction, because, you have a higher level student, he might not need the picture, but if you have a lower level student, maybe, if you have a picture image that's related to the question, it can help trigger, their thinking process.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give them instructions to study this picture. This is a collocation for the verb make. This is how we can make different collocations. Aha.
Make clear, make a wish, make trouble.
Make love. Now, how can we add questions so that students have to engage with the material? There are many different types of questions that we can make. Today, let's focus on 3: multiple choice, short answer, and paragraph. So let's start with a multiple choice question.
Okay.
What does not collocate with make? And if you click down here, you can make different answers.
Did you mean to do that? Make an answer?
No, but collocations are everywhere. It's hard not to make a collocation.
Exactly.
How about make a noise, make a boyfriend, make whoopee. Please understand that slang. Give yourself 2 pats on the back. Now I have a multiple choice question. This only allows students to choose one correct answer. I could also make this question required. What that does, let's preview this once again. Once again, if I'm a smart, intelligent student who's trying to get out of doing his work, I can just try to click, I'm just going to submit it without any answers. Nope, this is a required question. I have to respond to every question. So now beyond multiple choice, we can also do this. If I have developed a question, but I only want to make a couple of small changes, I can also do this, duplicate. This will copy all of the same features of the previous question, and then I can make small edits. So
wow, it looks like a big time saver, a huge time saver with this.
Yeah, it's about as time saving as Control-C, Control-V.
Okay.
Let's try this. What does collocate with make? Select all that apply. But I'm going to change the question to checkboxes. So now students can select multiple different correct answers in this question. Let's make this required as well. We don't always have to do multiple choice. We can also do a short answer. This is good when you want students to think about maybe filling in a blank or providing an answer that's between one word and one sentence.
Okay.
All right, write one collocation with make that is not on the list above. So make amends, make friends. And once again, I'll duplicate this just to make it very easy. And you can also choose paragraph. This is a kind of question that will allow students to write a little bit longer answers. This is good if students have to write anywhere between 1 and say 10 sentences,
Okay.
almost as long as a full essay if you wish. But why is it important to study collocations? Let's preview this quiz for one final time. Okay, study this picture. Okay, now let me practice. Let me practice these responses. What does not collocate with make, Mike? Can you let me know?
Make a boyfriend.
Yeah, sorry, most people don't say that.
Right. Unless maybe he's a robot.
Yeah, it's true. I can make a robot girlfriend if I wanted to. How about what does collocate with make? Let's select all that apply.
Okay, make a noise, make trouble, make whoopee.
Woohoo! Okay. Now let's write one collocation with make that is not on the list above. So can you tell me a different collocation?
Make a living.
Oh, that's a good one. All
I want
right.
to make a living by being a famous celebrity.
Honorable living indeed. So once again, why is it important to study collocations?
It just makes you sound more natural, more fluent. I mean, collocations are everywhere. You can't escape them.
Makes you sound more natural and fluent. And submit. Your responses have been recorded. Yep, so now this means the student has completed the assignment. The homework is done. So it does something really cool here now. As you can see, when the responses arrive, now I have one response. When students send in their responses, it records their email address and it shows you a list of all of the answers that you received. So then you can understand if students' learning is on the right track or what students might need help on or what students might be struggling. In addition, if you click on this little button right here, it says to create a spreadsheet, I can create a Google Sheet,
You
which will
can
show
explore the data. Okay.
all of this information in one space. So this will show what time the test was completed. A lot of times with trainees, I'll send little messages back saying, I'm happy you completed the assignment, but I'm sorry that you had to finish it at 2 a.m. because it does automatically record whenever they submit their assignments. Who sent it in and what answers they provided.
Oh, this would be nice if you have, a large class size.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be able to see all of the information in one place and you can see who got correct and incorrect answers.
I like it.
I made a lovely Google Forms, but how do I let my students see the quiz? How do I distribute the test?
I know from speaking with the trainees that I have now, many schools are on the Google Classroom platform, and there's other schools that aren't. So since those seem to be the two major ways, can you show us, how to distribute on Google Classroom and how if you're not using Google Classroom?
Yeah, let's do both. On Google Classroom, let's go to the main page, the stream, and let's start with classwork, and let's go to create an assignment. Please study and take this quiz. So now I can click on add,
Okay.
Google Drive,
Okay.
and my awesome quiz appears right here. Insert. Excellent. Now my quiz is right here, and if I click assign, all the students in my class will receive the forms, and it will also track who has turned in the assignment and who has not turned in the assignment.
Okay.
Now, what if I don't? What if I don't have Google Classroom in my school? What if
Yeah,
my
I would-
school is EBS only?
Right. How would we go about doing that?
It's a good question. First things first, I would check the settings on my
Okay.
Google form. It's important that you collect all email addresses. What
Why
this
is
does
that?
is it automatically collects the email addresses of students, so that
Okay.
way you know who has turned in the assignment and who has not. So it's a good way to track who is doing the homework assignments and who is playing games.
Ah, I see. Okay.
The second option, response receipts, what this means is that if you click always here, when a student submits a quiz, they will automatically receive a copy of all of the answers that they provided.
Ah, okay.
In my past classes, some trainees have regretted that when they submit the Google form, they can't keep a copy of their answers to store in their notes. So by emailing them their notes, they can print it out and keep it with them when they come to class. You can also limit students to one response, so that way they cannot submit multiple times.
Ah, okay.
Or you can allow students to edit after they submit, or you can let them submit only one time.
Okay.
All answers are final. Depends on how you want to conduct the form, how you want to do the quiz. Now, if you don't have Google Classroom, that's okay. There's another ways to distribute the form, which is to use the send feature. You have multiple choices here. You can email the form directly to students if you have a whole list. I actually use my Google Contact to collect all of the email addresses of the people in my class. So if I just type in this contact label, it assigns all of my trainees' email addresses onto here, and I can include the form in the email, and I can click send, and then all of my students will receive the form and they'll be able to take the quiz. Another feature is the link system. So what this does is if I copy and paste this link URL, it connects directly to the form. So a lot of schools have a intranet messaging system where teachers can communicate with students. They can post this link on that system, and that way every student has access to the quiz. You know, Mike, I know you really like design, so I'll show you one other really fun feature that I just learned about on Google Slides, which is if I go to customize the theme and I want to I can choose an image to be my header. All right, so if I download an image that I want to use as a header, let's choose this one right here. I can choose a little section for it to be my header. The colors of the quiz in the background will also change to reflect the header.
I see.
So I always really like that feature as well. It makes each quiz look different by adding a different heading image.
Yeah, it breaks up the monotony.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one final little trick I found about Google Forms.
Wow.
What questions do you have?
You know, Ian, I don't have any questions because you answered them all, and it just amazes me your knowledge of Google products, and you're our resident expert, and we thank you for that. Again, thanks for taking the time out and showing the trainees and anyone who's watching this how to create a Google form.
Hey, my pleasure, Mike, and I'll see you leading the next one.
All right, sounds good. Take care. See ya.
Cheers.